Now, Muna,
Yes.
I introduced her early, but we are very proud of you, and I think you're doing great with policy engagement. So give us, where is the engagement, and how can we help those who do engagement like you? How would we help them? And give us quick tips, particularly you studied in Sudan, you came to Oxford, you finished your degree, and now you are working. So the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Ustaz. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's honestly very humbling to follow such a great series of presenters. I'm really I'm really happy to be here with you guys. And before I kind of dive into my topic and my findings, I would like to kind of emphasize again the importance of communication. This is something that has been brought up by almost all of our speakers here, but I would like to particularly shed light on examples from immigrant communities who are not Sudanese as well here in UK. A lot of them have struggled with protecting young people at vulnerable stages of their life. For example, teenagers, for example, are most vulnerable to violence. They're most vulnerable to abuses, and even to increases in mental health issues as well, as the previous doctors have spoken about this as well. Now, a lot of people mention that when their child reaches out and goes like, "Mom, I might be depressed," the first reaction is always, "What's wrong with you? What's missing in your life? Why is this happening to you?" And I think this is one of the biggest indicators of this communication lag, this clog between parents and their kids. And this is something I want to dive into in my topic. I'd like to talk about positive parenting. Now, most of my experience is working on national levels on health policy using evidence coming from the University of Oxford. So I'll just share screens now. I think I agree with all of the previous speakers when I say that parents are the single greatest influence on their children. And those, yes, are supported by school systems, are supported by communities, friends, but parents are the key. And I just want to show findings from across Africa. These are findings from a recent study in Southern Africa. It basically shows that when we combine safe schools, cash transfers, and parenting support to families across this region, these are the results that we find. And this is something that the previous speakers have touched on, which is, for example, we need to have a safe school where people are not bullied, they're going with the right crowds, where their teachers are on good terms with them. We've talked about the issue of money and having a reasonable sense of finances and not being too worried about finances. But what I really want to dive into is parenting support. Now, these three combined have been found to reduce abuse by 51%. They improve mental health by 33%. These are very significant findings. They decrease violence perpetration, decrease community violence. It's no doubt this is what the evidence says. Now, diving into parenting support, I just want to divide the 4 different parenting styles. And for parents out there, you can kind of try to see which one you fit into. But there's 4 different types of parenting: authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, or uninvolved. And you can see the kind of the different combinations. Authoritative is often sensitive, but demanding. You have high expectations of your children, but there's always a hierarchy. So between child and parent, they're not on the same level. Permissive is something we see more in Western families, which is when the family are all equal, they're all friends. This is less common in the Sudanese community. But the most common two are authoritarian and authoritative among Sudanese parents. Now, there is a very dangerous difference between these two. One of them is sensitive and responsive, and the other is stern and strict. With the latter, this one, we see high expectations from the child, but with no support. There's an expectation that they cannot fail. They have to succeed, but with no emotional support, which means that the child would always be under pressure to succeed, and even when they don't, they would hide it. In this type, we also see that there's a lack of privacy. There's a sense of a big brother sense. So someone is always watching, but without actually helping. And this is the key type of parenting that all the speakers have recommended to stop. So when we see here, authoritarian parenting results in low self-esteem, low trust, weak behavior, poor social skills, which as the previous speaker said, lead to crimes, lead to violence, lead to getting involved in suspicious activity. And the academics of the children from these types of families also result in low academics. They can't concentrate. Their achievement is not great. Whereas authoritative, where the parents communicate and sensitively respond while believing in the child's potential, results in these things: high self-esteem, trusting, social responsibility. They feel the need to help people about them. They don't get as exposed to peer pressure as their peers. And they are known to be academically superior. So these are just kind of examples that I wanted to share on the concrete levels of how this affects people's lives. And yes, so to summarize everything, positive parenting is a cornerstone to pushing forward youth success, to being kind of cheerleaders to motivate kids to move forward with a brighter career, with a brighter lifestyle. I know my parents surely were supportive during this entire journey. And I totally encourage other parents to do the same. Thank you.
دكتورة منى شكرا لك جزيلا، شكرا والله كفيتي، وان شاء الله يعني احنا من الناس كلكم قدرنا نجيب منتج تشرحوا كل دول ياخذ سيشن كامل، وشكرا لك جزيلا. وطبعا الناس بتستخفي توقعات مننا كثير، ولما نجي يقول لك الزمن وكان تقطع ده ما يعني حقيقة يعني ما شاء الله يعني احنا كان عملنا مؤتمر في الجامعة بنقدر نلقى لو ما زيكم ما في احسن منكم، وربنا يزيدكم. شكرا لك.
شفت 5 دقائق
يا دكتور شكرا لك والله. ما انت لو ما عملت كده ما ممكن تكوني في اوكسفورد، يعني لازم تكوني دولة. والله نفتخر والله صراحه كلنا بيتكلموا ديل، لكن لما تشوف زي ديل الشباب ديل يغودوا يعني قاعدين في مشاريع في جامعه اوكسفورد، وانتصار قبل انتصار وتماضر واسراء، يعني والله يا جماعه يعني حقيقه يا ريت لو كل اسبوع نجيبوا نيجي يتونسوا بس خليك يتكلموا لنا عن بيرنتنج، لانهم بيدوا موتيف للناس الشباب الباقيين. يعني اتمنى الليله اني شاب اي تينيج نشوف اسراء دي يسال نفسه اللي بيخليه بكره ما يكون اسراء دي شنو؟ حتى لعيبه الكوره اللي بيحبون دي ما يكونوا رو موديلز. اسراء دي نادال العمده بتذكر ولا الماير في نيوكاسل. طيب انا عشان الزمن داير اقدم باقي لي ثاني 3 سبيكر ان شاء الله. شيخ بابكر ده ختمنا الاخر ونعتذر بشده والله. يعني شيخ بابكر ده مسكناه وهو زول مريض، يعني ربنا يواليه بكل عافيه. والناس بيرسلوا اسئله بالالاف، انتوا هسه في كل الدنيا متابعه فيكم في الميدل ايست وفي غيره.
بنحلم بفضاء أوسع، بنحلم بزمن أجمل، بلاد ميلاد بلاد ميلاد. بنحلم بفضاء أوسع، بنحلم بزمن أجمل، بلاد ممتد لحد حدود